I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Got a pretty busy day here. Now my goal is to take this pallet apart, get some boards out of it because I can make some more shelving. So at this point, I'm going to see if I can knock this pallet apart and finish up salvaging some boards. See if I can knock this apart. Trying to do a bang up job getting these last two disassembled.
Really amazing how well those lights work. Very happy with them.
How many times I've used this Robertson screwdriver. This pallet came with a couple of brackets fastened to it with two Robertson screwdrivers each, or two Robertson screws each. So to get the thing disassembled, I needed a Robertson screwdriver. To put the power panel together, I needed the Robertson screwdriver. So it must be this is a pretty common size. It's a number 2. So that tells me that the number 2 size is probably pretty common. That's okay by me. Robertson screws are kind of handy because they don't strip out easy. They really hold up. Just have to be careful not to step on any boards with screws or nails in them. Oh, this one's got screws in it, but I have to have a screwdriver. Before I do that, let's see if I can take this other end apart. Each time I do this, I do it slightly different. I think I'm learning something each time, but actually I'm just doing the same thing in a way that doesn't seem to improve it at all. It is different, not necessarily better. That's all right. Different can be satisfying all on its own. Just being able to get it done can be pleasant. There we go. Never hit a hammer with another hammer. Unless it's a soft blow hammer. Doesn't seem to bother anything. Careful once again not to get any of these staples rammed into me, because that hurts. When I was a kid, we used to ride our bicycles out into the country. We lived in a little town of Coldwater, and there was a road called Garfield Avenue. Garfield was the southern edge of the city. When you drove down Garfield, you were passing the fairgrounds on one side and a trailer park on the other. But if you went if you went west on Garfield and rode about 3 miles on your bicycle, that was a common thing for us to do. Riding a long distance on a bicycle wasn't something that everybody did all the time when I was a kid. But we liked riding the 3 miles out to Black Hawk Mills. So I and my brothers would get on our bicycles and we'd ride out to Black Hawk Mill, go fishing or just hang around because they had a dam there, a reservoir to run the mill, but the mill had long since shut down. The dam was made out of concrete, worked really well making a nice lake, and there was a lot of people lived on the lake, so they kept the dam, kept the lake. Well, we went exploring in the old mill, which was still there. It looked like a 2-story farmhouse, but inside it had mill equipment. Well, it had the places for mill equipment. Most of the milling equipment was gone. But as I was walking through there with my brother, I stepped on a nail in a board, and because it'd been in the building a long time, it was a rusty nail. Now, rusty nails are considered to be even worse than a regular nail. Any hole that has depth to it has got a special problem because the germs get into the bottom and then they tend to spread out, cause a really deep wound and a really deep infection. You can lose a foot that way. So we didn't know what to do. I was about, 10, 11, and my brother Jerry would have been 13 to 15, somewhere around there. And so we went across the street to the house there and knocked on the door and told the lady that I had stepped on a nail. And being a motherly sort, she brought me in, took off my shoe and my sock, cleaned up my foot, and put a Band-Aid on my foot and told me to go home and never go looking around inside that mill again. It was dangerous. Well, nothing happened. Evidently her medicine was good and I didn't have any infection in that foot. But I still remember that. She was a very, very nice woman, and my brother was real resourceful in saying, we're going to go get some help. So all in all, it was a pleasant experience despite having stepped on a nail. Now I have this first pallet done, and that's all the time I have for today. I still have to pick things up and knock the nails out of this, but that'll be later tonight. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.